Imagine a city built for 250,000 people. Towering pyramids, advanced writing systems, sophisticated knowledge of astronomy that rivaled anything in Europe at the time. Now imagine that city, completely empty, not destroyed, not burned, just abandoned, left to the jungle. This isn't one mystery, it's three. One civilization built cities so advanced that modern engineers still don't fully understand their plumbing. And then it disappeared so completely we don't even know what language they spoke. Another vanished from a canyon in the American Southwest so suddenly that meals were left half-cooked in their pots. And the third built some of the largest pyramids on Earth, and then walked away from them. And we still don't agree on why. 3 continents, 3 completely different cultures, the same impossible question. What happened to them? And why, after over a century of digging, scanning, and studying? Do we still not know? Civilization 1. The Maya. Let's start with the most famous case on this list, and possibly the most misunderstood. When people say the Maya vanished, that's not quite right. Millions of Maya people are alive today across Mexico, Guatemala, and Belize. But here's what actually happened, and it's stranger than total extinction. Between roughly 800 and 950 AD, the Maya experienced what historians now call the classic Maya collapse. Dozens of major cities, places with populations in the tens of thousands, with massive stone pyramids, plazas, and palaces, were abandoned almost simultaneously. Not slowly, not one by one. Within a span of just over a century, city after city went silent. Construction stopped mid-project. Monuments stopped being carved. Royal dynasties that had ruled for centuries simply stopped recording their own history. So what caused it? For decades, archaeologists leaned toward war and political collapse, rival city-states fighting each other into oblivion. And there's strong evidence for that. Carved stone monuments from this era show increasing references to conflict, captured rulers, and burned temples. But that theory had a problem. War alone doesn't explain why cities not directly involved in fighting were also abandoned. Then, ice core and sediment data gave us a second piece of the puzzle: severe, prolonged drought. Some of the worst droughts the region had seen in thousands of years hit right as the collapse began. Crops failed. Water reservoirs, engineering marvels the Maya had relied on for centuries, ran dry. So which was it? War or drought? The honest answer scientists have landed on is brutal. Both feeding each other. Drought triggered famine. Famine triggered desperation. Desperation triggered war over dwindling resources. War destroyed the infrastructure needed to survive the next drought. It was a downward spiral with no single cause. And that's exactly why it took archaeologists so long to piece it together. But even with that explanation, one question remains stubbornly unanswered. Why didn't they adapt? The Maya were skilled engineers. They'd survived droughts before. What made this collapse different and permanent for so many cities is still debated today. Civilization 2. The Indus Valley Civilization. If the Maya collapse is debated, the Indus Valley Civilization is almost a complete blank. And that's what makes it terrifying to historians. At its peak, around 2500 BC, this civilization stretched across what is now Pakistan and northwest India, and it was massive, potentially home to millions of people, making it comparable in scale to ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. And it was advanced. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro had grid-pattern streets, multi-story brick buildings, and this is the part that still amazes engineers, some of the most sophisticated drainage and sewage systems in the ancient world. Indoor plumbing, covered drains, public baths. Systems many cities wouldn't match again for thousands of years. But here's where the mystery deepens. We cannot read their writing. The Indus script has never been deciphered, not by archaeologists, not by linguists, not by AI-assisted pattern recognition in recent years. We have thousands of inscriptions on seals and pottery, and we genuinely do not know what they say. We don't know their religion. We don't know their political structure. We don't even know what they called themselves. So when this civilization began declining around 1900 BC, with cities being abandoned over the following centuries, we were left guessing at a civilization that couldn't even explain itself in death. Leading theories include a major shift in river systems. Some evidence suggests the Sarasvati River, central to their agriculture, dried up or changed course. Others point to climate change reducing monsoon rainfall across the region. There's also debate about Indo-Aryan migrations into the area, though most modern historians now lean against the old invasion theory in favor of gradual climate-driven decline. But therefore, the most unsettling part of this mystery isn't the disappearance, it's the silence. A civilization left no story behind, only a riddle written in a language no one alive can read. Civilization 3. The Ancestral Puebloans, Anasazi. The first two civilizations vanished over centuries. This last one might be the fastest disappearance on this list, and it happened right here in the United States. In the canyons of the American Southwest, places like Chaco Canyon and Mesa Verde, the Ancestral Puebloans built extraordinary cliffside cities between roughly 900 and 1300 AD. Multi-story stone dwellings carved into canyon walls, precise astronomical alignments built into their architecture, complex trade networks stretching hundreds of miles. And then, within just a few decades in the late 1200s, they were gone. What makes this case so eerie is the evidence left behind. Archaeologists have found dwellings where pottery was left intact, tools were left in place, and in some sites, food appeared to have been abandoned mid-preparation, as though people expected to return and simply never did. So why did they leave? Tree ring data has given us strong evidence of a multi-decade mega-drought hitting the region in the late 1200s, one of the most severe in the area's recorded climate history. That alone could explain a slow, forced migration. But there's also unsettling archaeological evidence at some sites suggesting violence and even conflict between communities competing for dwindling resources, adding a darker layer to the climate explanation. The descendants of the ancestral Puebloans, modern Pueblo peoples, are very much still here, and their oral histories speak of migration, not vanishing. But the specific reasons entire cliff cities were emptied within a single generation and never permanently resettled is still actively studied by archaeologists today. So here's what we're left with. The Maya, a collapse driven by a feedback loop of drought and war so destructive that dozens of cities went silent within a single century. The Indus Valley, a civilization so advanced it had plumbing systems ahead of their time, yet so thoroughly erased that we can't even read their own words explaining what happened to them. And the ancestral Puebloans, families who left meals on the fire and never came back, driven out by one of the worst droughts in the region's history. 3 different continents, 3 different timelines, but notice the pattern that connects every single one of them. Climate stress, followed by human systems that simply couldn't hold under the pressure. That's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. These weren't primitive societies that fell because they lacked knowledge. The Maya understood astronomy better than most of medieval Europe. The Indus Valley had engineering that wouldn't be matched for centuries. The ancestral Puebloans built architecture so precise it tracked solstices to the day. Intelligence didn't save them. Adaptability eventually ran out. And that's the burning question these 3 vanished civilizations leave us with. Not what happened to them, because we've pieced together fragments of that answer. The real question is this: if civilizations this advanced couldn't outlast the pressure they faced, what makes us so certain that we can? If this kind of history fascinates you, subscribe, because we're only getting started uncovering the world's greatest unexplained disappearances.